Hey guys, Eric here, and today I am going to solve another problem that we've got here in the house, and it has to do with our door lock. I'll get into the issues I'm having and what I'm going to do with a particular door lock here in a minute, but basically that's the problem we're solving right now. We're going to install a door lock, and I'm going to show you how to do it. This is a smart door lock, so although not all of the steps for every single brand of smart door lock will be exactly the same, in general, this is how it's gonna go, and you can follow these steps for basically all of them. So anyway, let's get into it now. More than 5 years ago now, I installed this. This is a Yale smart door lock. This is the one from Costco. And if I open it up, I can show you. You can see the front keypad here, and it's got a button that enables the keypad. And this is the door lock we've been using. Now, it's been okay, but it hasn't been perfect. So even though the installation of that door lock and the general quality of the deadbolt and everything have been okay, it's not been without its issues. It frequently loses Wi-Fi connection, so I can't see the status of the door, lock or unlock it from my phone. You're supposed to be able to use an app to do this, and the app just doesn't work very good. And as I said, the door lock frequently loses connection, and I just have zero access to it, and I'm completely blind to what's going on with the door lock if I'm away from the house. Now, the other thing is, this thing just eats batteries like you wouldn't believe. It takes 4 AA batteries, and those 4 AA batteries last maybe 2 months most. And then when the batteries die, the door lock starts doing all kinds of weird things. Sometimes it will give me a battery low message, and that's great because then I know, okay, replace the batteries, but it doesn't give me that message all the time. And then other times it will just completely lose its functionality, and it will randomly unlock and lock at different times. It won't recognize key codes, and there are various other things that it just doesn't function properly, and that's generally been a sign that the batteries were low. It's not great. At the time that we got this lock, it had decent reviews. I'm not sure what happened or if something changed with it or what, but it's just not working for us. So I'm gonna show you what we're gonna replace it with, and then we're gonna move forward with the replacement, and we can see how the new one works. So I was looking online to see what they had for replacements for smart door locks and stuff like that, and I came across one from a brand that I do have a lot of experience with, and I am eventually trying to reduce the amount of smart apps that I need in the home. It makes sense to get one that will sync with everything and that it works with an app that we have. I am not saying that this is the best on the market, and this company has had their issues in the past. However, I've had relatively good luck with their products, and it was affordable. I'll put a link down in the description if you're interested in checking this one out. But anyway, this is what we went with. This is a relatively new product from Wyze. This is called the Wyze Palm Lock. It does have a security keypad, but the extra feature that this is supposed to have is it's supposed to be able to scan the veins in your palm and then just unlock the door for you just by hovering your hand over there. It does go into the Wyze app, which we already use for a bunch of other things in the house. So hopefully this will help reduce, app stuff. It is compatible with Google and Alexa. We're gonna unbox it and see what it comes with. I believe this uses rechargeable batteries, so it doesn't use just AA's like the Yale lock does, which is good because hopefully those batteries have better battery life. So let's open this up and see what we got. Presentation is pretty nice. We have the internal deadbolt right here. It is plastic and very, very light. However, this part is metal, the part that actually rotates. Then we have the backing plate here with the weather stripping on the side. And we have the keypad itself, which is very heavy duty metal. That's awesome. That's actually a welcome change. Oh, it looks like we have a backup key. That's actually nice too. That's something, that the Yale lock does not have, is the ability to have a backup key. So that's cool. This is all pretty standard. Let's see, we should have some hardware underneath this. We have our documentation all here, as well as if you were installing this in a brand new door, you could use these templates and stuff. We're not doing that, we're just replacing it. You get your Wyze sticker that you get with almost all of their products. Then we have the batteries. Yes, they are rechargeable. There is a primary battery and then there is a backup battery. And the backup battery is supposed to keep your lock functioning if the primary battery goes dead. We have our actual locking portion here. We have a set of keys. We have a set that goes on the other side for the locking portion to slide into just like that, which is actually really, really nice. So that's what you get. Oh, you also get mounting screws and whatnot. All right, now unless you are installing one of these in a brand new door, you're going to have an existing lock that you have to remove. The process is pretty easy. For this smart lock, I'll take you in here. This has the battery compartment, which is here. This has to come off first, and that's just one Phillips head screw, and then that slides off. Now on here you have this. This is supposed to be the wireless module, which commonly loses connection. So I can just remove that and pull that out. And then we can take out the batteries. This particular lock just has a Phillips head screw here and a Phillips head screw here. And that removes this back plate. Now that that has been removed, I can actually just slide this off, just like that. And I can disconnect the front of the door lock from this battery pad. There is a plug here that I can just slide out, just like that. And now this portion is off. So there are two screws here, which hold this plate in place. Again, just Phillips head screws. These tend to be pretty long. I guess I didn't need to open the door for this part. But these just come out just like that. And then this plate should just come off. There we go. And we can sneak that plug through, and that's the plate off. And now you can take the front keypad off as well and just slide that right out. Now the last piece that needs to come off is this portion here, and this is pretty obvious. There are two Phillips head screws. Now that we have our locking bolt in place, not our bolt, I'm not sure what this is called, the part that slides out that locks your door in place and it is flush with our door, we can take a look at the other side to see if that needs to be replaced. So chances are, if you are replacing a deadbolt that's already been in place, you may not need to replace this part, especially if this part measures up perfectly with the new one and it is solidly in place. Then I don't recommend replacing this. The next piece we need is this, which is actually the keypad that goes on the outside of the door. And this little pin, you have to measure up and make sure it goes inside of the piece that we just installed. This one is nicely keyed here to indicate that it goes this way, right side up, and not the other way, upside down or sideways. So we're gonna put that in over here. Put it in here. We're gonna slide the cable from the keypad right underneath that piece we just installed, so it comes through the other side of the door here. And then we are going to take that little keyed pin and we're going to make sure it's right side up, and we are going to slide it right into the piece there. And then this portion should sit flush and flat against the door. And I'll show you right here what I'm holding on to. Right there, there's that pin that was on the other side, And now we need the other side to go on this part right there. The next piece we need is this piece. This is the other side that holds the battery and has the deadbolt. We want to make sure this is turned like this because it is now in the unlocked position, and this would be the unlocked position, and the lock has to rotate it like that for the locked position. So unlocked position, and we are going to put it here. Now basically this is pretty easily done. There is a plug just like what we removed on the other one, and this is going to slide into the little plug here, and it looks like this one is nicely marked with a little red mark to indicate which direction it is supposed to be plugged in, and we will just slide this harness into place. That's what it looks like when it's fully in place there. The little harness is in place, and now again we want to make sure it's in the unlocked position, and then we're going to hide the cable right here, and we're just going to slide this piece. You have to generally push from the other side as well and slide the key right over that, and there we go. And you just kind of sandwich the door right in place. So the step I forgot and this actually makes installation easier, is I forgot to put the plate on the other side. So this plate goes right here, and that's what that keypad mounts to. This gives it a little more heft. You've got a little notch down here at the bottom where, there you go, where that little wire sneaks through, and this piece here holds the entire thing in place. So you generally want that on the door. This also has weather stripping, so keep moisture out and stuff. Okay, now we do what we did before, which was put our screwdriver away and then plug the little harness into the place here. Some locks do not have screws to hold the inner plate sandwiched between the door to the outer plate, but this one does. So we're going to take 2 of our longer screws, and these are actually going to go through this plate. There's a screw hole here, and you want to make sure that these line up. So this can be a little bit confusing, but I'll show you guys what I'm doing. And then there's another hole through this piece, and then it's going to go all the way through and match up with a hole on our keypad. And we want to make sure that we line all 3 of those up, and then you can start hand screwing it in just to make sure, keep everything in line before you fully tighten down. Close the door a little bit so you can see, but basically those screws are right here. It's hard to see because they're black on black, but they are all lined up, and now I can screw them down in place, and they will keep the keypad sandwiched against the door and flush. Keypad is secure to the door, plate is secure to the door. Now we can move on to the other step, which was taking this piece here that holds the batteries and plugging in the harness just like that. Okay, right there, that's what it looks like when it's plugged in. And now we can move this, like I said, to the unlocked position and sneak the wire around the side, and this should just line up and slide into place. There we go. Okay, that actually fits really snug, and that's before even screwing it down. All right, now that we have that piece in place, we can actually shut the door and we can put our final screws in. The next step is you want to make sure that mechanically everything works. So with the door open, we want to rotate this and make sure that this deadbolt comes out, and make sure that nothing's making it catch and it is sliding in and out pretty easily. And then we want to close the door and make sure that it slides in and it does lock the door, which it does. So now we can do that. And we know that it's working, so now we can move on to the next step. So the next step for installing this is to insert the batteries. So we're gonna open those up. And like I said, there are two batteries. There's a primary battery and a backup. So we've got both here. This battery's got contacts right there, which line up right there. And then this one right here. Now this battery right here has a charge port, USB-C charge port, so you can recharge it. So I'm gonna put that on, and then we should be able to slide our battery cover. There we go. And that's our battery cover in place. Now the battery already said ready to connect, and now it's time to move to the app. The app portion of this install is going to be proprietary depending on the smart lock or smart lock that you are installing. All right, so I've got all the software hooked up with the new lock. Let's try it out. First, right now the app, there we go. App says it's locked. We're going to tap that. There we go. And it unlocked the door. And then we are going to tap it again to lock it. There we go. And it locked the door there. All right, now we're gonna test the palm portion. So presumably I should be able to just hold my palm above this. It should scan it and lock or unlock. Let's lock it. Pretend that the door is locked. As you can see, the little piece there is open. So now, there we go. And it worked. That's awesome. Now, I'm gonna lock it again and just make sure that the keypad works. There we go. Keypad also works. So another cool thing that this door lock does that my old one didn't is when I shut the door, it automatically locks, which is really, really cool. On the app itself, the Wyze app, I can add new codes. I can add other people's palm prints and stuff like that. But I can also use the app, whether I'm at home or away from home, to lock and unlock the door in case someone needs to get in case of time of emergency or something like that. And also we have the key backup if the battery ever goes dead or something like that. And the backup battery goes dead, you can use the key as a backup to unlock and lock your door. So that's it for this one. I hope you guys found that useful. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or anything down below, and I do my best to answer all those comments. Thank you for joining me for this episode. Problem solved.